I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Minutes of the previous meeting. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Do we have any additions or corrections to said minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Agenda, the only thing I have is a possibility, an the joint powers agreement from the Lake Region Law Enforcement Center came back. Would you like to add that to the agenda for discussion? Yep. We will add that to the agenda under new business then, and I'd take a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved. Second.
Motion in a second, we'll give Jeff the.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, if we could have the school and anybody else that's here to discuss their ARPA.
Do we want to just move that down under the ARPA fund recommendations instead of a line?
Oh, sure.
With the rates? Just move all that on ARPA. Okay, so we have a few delegations here to talk about ARPA, so we'll just allow that as part of the ARPA recommendation if that's okay. Okay, further discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. First up, Sean.
All right.
Good afternoon, evening.
I'll be quick, so you guys got a full house, so I'll just be really quick. I'm coming here for North Dakota Century Code 571550. I have copies here if you guys need it, more stuff here, but I have more copies. Basically, it's talking about depreciation costs for EMS. Going through a countywide, we have to do a petition. We are looking at, I've talked to Candy about this, we're looking at to make a tax district like Unicode, Michigan, Macville. Almost the whole state's gonna go to a EMS tax district, like we do for the fire department. So we're looking at doing that. What I'm doing is looking for county, and we're gonna go to city for depreciation costs. That would have to go up to a vote as well, just so you know that's something that we're looking into for the future. I have an asset of all of our equipment, and what we'd be looking for is roughly around $150,000 a year. And that's what we're going for our depreciation costs of all of our EMS equipment. So, any questions on that? It has to go to a vote, so I just wanted to let you guys know that this is something we're working towards doing. I'm bringing it up with everybody. No questions, I'll move on.
Do you have an idea of timeline when you'd like to put that to a vote?
Actually, I'm getting a hold of, I haven't done it a little bit, is we're getting a hold of the agency to set up our tax district, and they're gonna set up some more things for us. When they do, they'll talk to my board of directors, they'll talk to you guys, and give us a kind of idea of what we're running for. I'd like to see within the next, not this year, of course, but the next year or the year after.
Sure.
Just plan for the future, so we can have EMS in this area for a long time. Talk about the tax district, snow removal for the training center. Do we want to include that into something, or is that something that Ramsey County can come through and just follow out the driveway real quick? That is where our drone team houses their units. And if there's an emergency, they can't get out. I know that the county had went to go help real quick, but if we hire it down, it's something that you guys would require the cost of running. You and the city to share with. I'm looking for input.
Yeah, we don't mind doing it, it's just that we can't get there right away, type of thing.
Yeah, and that's fine. They'll have to make do with what they can. But for the few times the last snowstorm, they gotta get through. We'll talk about that. But that's all I was looking for that. The training center, I just finished the Alabama Trust Fund for the training center. I talked to North Dakota, Bank of North Dakota. We're willing to do a flex pace at 0% roughly. Talked to 7 different banks in the Devils Lake area, and they're interested in not only helping with it and basically putting in bids for it, to donating so much money towards the project. Trying to get them to donate because it fits in all of their criteria for everything. So they can donate, they said, maybe $5,000 a year. So it's gonna cost the county $14,000 a year for 15 years with a loan. And if you can get the banks to donate most of the money every year, then it's be less than you guys have to pay, hopefully it'll be nothing. And Farmer Trust knows what we're able to do on the big pay.
So that's for 15 years?
Yeah, it's for 15 years. Ed and I talked about charitable gambling, but we'll be looking into charitable gambling and athletic sites that are possibly available for us. So January we'll start that, just to try to ease the cost of everything, cost of operations. Our goal is to become self-sufficient.
How much is the loan for, Sean?
$250,000. And that is to have the building completely renovated and all training equipment for all agencies. So that'll be opening the door and start training. And some of the classes we will be charging for some of the classes, that goes right back to the funds as well. I've talked to Matt Bocke, and we talked a little bit about the college, what have EMS courses, there, for college courses, high school classes. And the facility fee, of course, would be just to offset the expenses, so. Eventually, in the long run, we'd like to just keep coming here and asking for money. So it's sufficient enough. You guys have any questions? I'll be short and sweet.
Questions? Yes. That's all you got.
That's all I got for right now. I'm just like keep you guys in the loop.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
And John.
Okay, it's not 5:45 yet, so we'll jump over for October sale and then we'll go down to Kevin.
Okay, every year we sign the maintenance agreement through the from the DOT stating that we agree to the maintenance on our federal aid highways. We receive federal dollars. And that requires a signature from the auditor, the state's attorney, the chairman of the board, myself, so just looking for a motion to have all those people sign that agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to have those individuals sign the agreement with NDDOT. Further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Close same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, and I forgot to bring up the last thing, I did hire a new blade operator for the Starkville area, and it's Ryan Gibbons. He actually lives here in town, but he's driving up there every day. And the only other thing I had to bring up was, the bids that are being opened on the 18th for the payloader and the skid steer. If it would be possible to award those yet this month. I think one of them, I don't know if they'll be low bid, but one of them might, only honor their bid until November 30th. Is what I'm reading. Thought maybe we could have a meeting before the end of the month. Whatever you guys think. Well, I don't know that for a fact. I have that feeling.
You were looking at having a special meeting,
Yes.
bid opening day.
The open day is the 18th November.
I would say, at least in my opinion, check and see if they only honor it to the 30th, and if they do, we can, I suppose, call one if we have to, if they're the low bid. But if they don't win the low bid, then there's really no reason to have a special. Just push it to the next meeting, I would assume, so we can deal with it if we have to. At least that's my opinion. Thoughts?
That works.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I have.
I was clicking.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
Oh, it's snow removal though.
Good?
Good.
Of course, it's a holiday again. We always get them storms on a holiday.
That's how it always is. Oh, looked like it went pretty well, so appreciate it, Kevin, thank you.
I could add one thing, I guess the Ramsey 24 box cover bids on Friday here at the DOT, so hopefully we'll get decent pricing on that, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Okay. Got 4 minutes. Let's go down to new business. Cause I'm sure the other ones are gonna take more than 5 minutes. Abatements.
To approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the abatements. Further discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Raffle permits.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the raffle permits. Further discussion on that motion? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Joint powers agreement from the law enforcement center. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve that. The only thing I would say is Candy was wondering, when I talked to Esther about it, or she mentioned to me, what day is the term of the agreement gonna start?
I haven't seen this yet,
Okay.
so.
It's-
Nothing has changed.
It's just the second draft that they approved.
Yeah,
Nothing
we sent
changed.
Yes, it was approved at the law enforcement center, nothing changed from us, so should it start?
It would be the date that you all signed.
Okay.
So,
So whenever we approve.
Whatever we approve, okay?
Okay.
She was wondering if it was retroactive to
Yeah. To,
hiring or today, so okay, then it'll start today, easy enough. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the law enforcement center joint powers agreements. Further discussion.
Should that start earlier? I mean, when the county itself
you guys,
approved it, or,
do you have
the
it?
date.
You mean when we sent it to them, you mean?
well, we made a motion to approve it, when was that, last month? Must have been.
It's been,
Well, yeah, we could date it that date and then just, today's motion would just be for the final signature on the copy.
And they approved it at their last meeting, which was October,
October something other.
yeah, through the
I suppose you could backdate it if you want,
19th.
as far as the effective date and then sign it with today's date.
to start the date that he was actually here.
Maybe that's better.
That's a decision for you all, but then your signature would go, and you would date today's date on the back page.
Yes, because we were ready.
19th of October, yeah.
So when did you start?
He started in like August, end of July, first part of August.
Doesn't have to be.
Well, I think it probably makes most sense to have some sort of, you and their chairman come together and sign it at the same time, so everybody has their originals. Sheriff has it, all that, all at the same time, because you all have to sign. We can prove it tonight and sign it on the date. It sounds like it's our position, we don't have to be dated back to July, whenever Captain Krabs started, which I think is a reasonable position to take. I don't think you're gonna get any kickback from the city on that. I think you would. So, I'll reach out to Jack Gunther too, and
I think it's just us and the.
Us, the sheriff, and the law enforcement center.
he's the next law enforcement center board member.
Tomorrow.
Okay, sign up on it tomorrow.
Well, I'll be in town anyway, so I'll stop by.
You can put your signature on it tonight too.
Chairman, Commissioner Brown's the chairman of the LEC, so he's here.
Yeah.
Um,
And the LEC approved it already to sign, so you could just sign it tonight, I could sign it tonight.
Get the sheriff.
Sheriff sign it.
And then we can decide on today's date.
Well, the date of signature has to be today's date, but the effective date, I think,
Effective date.
yeah, the opinion of the commission should be when he started, but if need be, we'll let, you guys can figure that out, that's not a big deal.
I don't think anything would change.
Okay.
Within that.
Very good.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we gotta get stuff kind of organized here. Okay, being it is 5:45. Yeah, you don't need a seat vacant, huh? You got people wanna buy stuff.
Yeah.
we'll wait and let people come in that need to sit for the sale.
You guys heard from the
Good, how are you?
So is there anybody else out there? I'll try to talk loud.
I'm gonna stand by these.
Okay, I think we're kind of back in and be friendly with each other. It's a small room.
Listen now. That way?
The camera's behind you. There you go. Thank you. Okay, now we got everybody in the room, it appears. It's 5:45 PM, which means we will have our foreclosure sale. I will read the top of this just for the official portion of it. So, notice was hereby given that the following real estate has been forfeited to the county of Ramsey, state of North Dakota for delinquent taxes. That said county has taken tax deed to such property and will offer it for sale at public auction at the county commissioner's room here, first floor, with our address at this date at 5:45. Each parcel of real estate will be offered separately and sold to the highest bidder, but not for a sum less than minimum sale price listed below. The sale will continue from day to day until completed. So we have, I never counted beforehand, but all those properties underneath. Steve's back in the corner. He will bring the properties on the screen so you can see where they are parceled at in the county. Then I will read the legal description. He'll bring them up, and then we will go through the process. The terms of the sale were handed out previous to the auction. I'm not going to read the whole terms of the sale because that's a big old sheet of paper. But those are the provisions on payment and everything else, and anything that's against the properties. So with that, any questions? Seeing none, we'll get started. Property one, as in Grand Harbor Township, parcel number 060003106001, tract in the southeast corner of Government Lot 5, 1 acre in 27,154.65 with a minimum sale price of $60. We got it up on the screen. It's all in the water there. So we will open the sale at $60. Is anybody interested in buying for $60? We have one bidder at $60. Anybody that would like to raise a bid above that? Anybody that would like to raise a bid above the $60? And technically, I have to ask 3 times for legality's sake. Anybody else who wants to bid? Seeing none, it is sold for $60 to
Matt Young.
Matt Young in the back of the room. Okay. And I guess I forgot to mention when this is all done, Candy will be here, right? Afterwards, and people can pay afterwards today, or they can stop in tomorrow, whatnot, regular hours. Okay, property 2, Township, Highland Center Township, for the northeast corner of the county, parcels 21,000,006,549,000, commencing in the southwest corner of the northwest quarter, 6.06 acres in 35,158.60 with a minimum sale price of $4,000. It is up on the screen there. Do we have a bid of $4,000? We have one bid of $4,000. We had 2 bids over there. Are you both the same? You guys are separate? Separate? Okay, so we'll have one of you start the bidding.
Is that with thousand?
It is whatever is on the property, correct?
There is a tenant. I don't know if he's anywhere in the crowd, but
That is what the property is. And as we said on this, each parcel is sold as is where it's, okay?
Well, it's gonna be 41.
Okay, so we have 4 and 4,100.
42.
Okay,
45. 5 grand.
5 grand.
55.
6.
Congratulations.
We have a high bid of $6,000. Any other bidders? I guess if they were the only 2 and they decided to let it go, I'll ask 2 more times. Any other bidders? Any other bidders? Seeing none, sold to
Be under top rated.
Okay, Candy's taking it down.
I want you to stop by and talk to me before you leave tonight, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Right, got her? Very good. Property number 3, City of Rocket, parcel number 360009024050, lot 21 of block 3, with a minimum sale price of $1,000. The big skinny lot, it's up on the sheet there, or up on the screen there. Do we have any minimum bids? We have one in the back. Any other bidders? Nobody else interested in Brockett? Okay, any other bidders? Any other bidders? Seeing none, it is sold to
City of Rocket.
City of Brockett for $1,000. Okay, I'll let Candy take some notes here before we move on. No, you're fine, you're fine.
I was trying to multitask, but
I
I just couldn't do it. Okay, yes,
City
I
of
got it.
Brockett, she's got her down.
Okay.
Property number 4. Now we're in the City of Devil's Lake. Parcel number 3900000, three more zeros, 12000. East 5 feet of the South 100 lot 16 and lot 17 of block 8. With a minimum sale price of $21,000.
Green space next to Anytime Fitness.
Green space next to Anytime Fitness, there you go. So it is on the screen. Do we have a minimum bid? Anyone interested? I'll ask one more time, is anyone interested in the minimum bid of $21,000? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Number 4 did not sell. Number 5, again, City of Devil's Lake. Parcel 3900000016400, north 30 feet, lots 21 through 24 of block 23, with a minimum sale price of $3,700. It's up on the screen. Okay. Anybody interested in the minimum bid price?
37.
Cool. Okay, we have multiple, so we'll start with you, 37, since you talked. Do we have anybody who would like to raise that bid price?
38.
38?
39.
39?
4.
Okay.
41. 42.
Okay.
43.
Okay.
44.
45.
46.
5.
55.
Okay. $5,500 is the price right now. Anybody else?
6,000.
Okay.
We'll go 65.
65?
7,000.
7,000?
75.
75?
8.
8?
85.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
I'm off.
Okay. My bid over here is now 9. I should be an auctioneer so I can like make some money between. It's too silent when people are going back and forth. I should be good at something. So we have a high bid of 9,000. Do we have anybody else interested in bidding on this property? Anyone else interested in bidding? Anyone else? Seeing none, sold up front.
Kelly's.
Kelly Swansett, 9,000.
Kelly, you come talk to me after we leave, or we're done with
Can I send you an email if I don't stay for a little bit?
this. That's fine.
I'm gonna. This now belongs to you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Property 6, City of Devil's Lake, parcel number 390300100097000, west half of lot 7 and lot 8 of block 7 C and K addition, with a price of $14,500 minimum sale bid. Okay, you can see it on the screen there. Do we have any minimum bids? We have one over here. Anyone else interested in bidding on this? What would you like to move it to?
15,
15?
15.5.
16,
15.5.
17.
20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay, We have a bid of 20,000. We have somebody in the back of the room there I didn't see, sorry.
22.
22,
23,
okay.
4. 28.
29,
30.
31,
35.
36,
21.
Any other bids? 36 is the high.
You what? 37.
Okay. 38 up front.
What are we on?
38 up front here with this gentleman.
40.
40.
41,
I'm out.
Okay. Out and with 41, correct? Okay. Anybody else interested in bidding? Bid right now is at 41. Anyone else interested? Anyone else?
We're thinking.
Oh,
41.
it is 41 right now.
Okay,
You'd have to be
42.
Okay, 42.
45,
42.5.
45.
45.
46,
46. Okay. Looks like we're done in the back. You have 46 up front here, correct? Okay. I'm gonna gavel it out. Sold. 46,000. To the gentleman in the front. Okay. Gonna make a note of it right here. So I don't try to sell the same property twice. Okay. Number 7. Devils Lake City. Parcel number 391906 00001 000 lot 1 block 1 of Stromquist third subdivision with a minimum sale price of $3,800. It's up on the screen. Okay. Anyone interested in this property? Up front here. Okay, minimum bid. Anyone else interested? Anyone else interested? Anyone else interested? Hearing none, sold up front here. Sir, your name?
Like,
I'll talk to the state's attorney when you're.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, City of Lawton. We've got quite a few in Lawton here. Parcel 42 quad 0 1002700 lot 6 the rate of block 1 with a minimum sale price of $150. Is up on the screen. Anybody interested? Anyone? Third call? Okay, we're moving on. Next one, Lawton City. Parcel 42 quad 0 1006700 lot 18 of block 5 with a minimum sale price of $450. I believe. I'm gonna put this thing across so I make sure I'm on the right one. Yes, $450. Anybody interested in that parcel? Anyone interested? Anyone interested? Seeing no one, we'll move on. 10th parcel, Lawton City. Parcel number 42 quad 0 1006800 lot 19 of block 5. So apparently right next door. $450 minimum sale price. Anybody interested? Okay. Nobody? One more time. Anybody interested? Okay. Moving on. 11. Lawton City. Parcel number 42 quad 0 1006900 lot 20 block 5. Then next door, $450. Anybody interested? Anybody interested? Anybody interested? Seeing none, we'll move on. 12. Oh, that would same lot. It'll be right next door, 42 quad 0 10070 000 lot 21 block 5, $450. Anybody interested? Anyone? Anyone? Nope. Moving on. 13th property, Lawton City. Right next door again, 42 quad 0 10071 000 lot 22 block 5 for $450. Anyone interested? Anybody Anybody interested? Anybody interested? Seeing none, we'll move on to our last property on the bids sheet. Lot and City again. Parcel number 42-1901-10143-001, lot 6 through 10 of block 9 of Stoltz's first edition for $1,900. Up on the screen there. Anybody interested? Anyone interested? Anyone interested? Okay, seeing none, that's all the properties that were listed up for sale. That will conclude our auction. I would assume we need a motion to accept the sale prices. Flip one, so we have a motion and a second to accept the sales prices from the foreclosure auction. Further discussion? Hearing none, further discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries, and we are done with the foreclosure sale. Thanks everyone for participating. Go right ahead. If anybody needs to step out, we'll give you time to head out, so you don't have to sit through the whole meeting here. Yeah, we'll give Candy a minute or two here to get everything squared away here. And we'll take a couple minute break here, if anybody needs to go to the restroom or something like that. Huh? There you go.
That was my house that got sold well. I was looking up, I think that's my house. I hope not.
Like the fifth, whenever the first meeting.
No. That's why I was kind of worried about the minute. I wasn't 100% sure if it was or not. Not really. I was supposed to be.
Mortgages.
Well, I don't like making But I just rather pay now.
Just to go down in it.
You don't know how to get those people.
Just the way it's put.
Okay, have a level light. I mean, is that the one? The level one?
Thing of it is, you don't want to go higher than this.
I just forgot about that.
I don't think so, I think probably the Randy.
Let's even that here. So if it did, it got it done.
Well, like that.
They go down there.
Oh, give it there, oh.
Okay, we'll come back to order here and we'll get started on the ARPA stuff. As we don't know how long Candy will be, so. Okay, so unfinished business, we'll start ARPA fund recommendations. We're all aware of what the recommendations were from the committee. It was asked at the last meeting to have some of the individuals representing the different projects that were possibly awarded money to come in and give us an overview, make sure they're still on task, and see where they're at on things. So we have some representatives from the different entities here to talk to us, and that's good. So since you guys are on the agenda, we'll start with the park board. We've got Kale and Terry, and I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but the new park, Josh, the new park district administrator. So give us an overview of where you're at and where the project is, I guess.
All right, well, thank you guys for having us. Again, I'm Gail Stremming, Josh Jansen, he's our new park superintendent. He's been with us for about a month now, so he's getting his feet wet, so kind of getting into things. So just to kind of give you guys an overview of where we're at with we'll call it the Devil's Lake Family Entertainment Center. As a lot of you guys know, we approached the city several months ago, actually back before June, the June election, to look to provide something as far as maybe an indoor family entertainment center for our community that, something for people in our community to do. I think there's been a big need and a big demand for something, especially in the winter months within our community. So as you guys know, we did a sales tax vote for that project, a 0.25% sales tax, and that passed with over 60% of the community supporting the initiative. We formed a community committee with several different entities, including Jeff, I know serves from the county's perspective. We have people from the city, the park district, people in our senior community, people in child care, people in healthcare, and a little bit beyond that. In the farming community, actually have a representation from them as well. So in the process, we're utilizing a facility that's existing, and we have a great opportunity where we don't have to invest millions of dollars in the facility. So we did a kind of a twofold community forum to assess what the community wanted to see within a facility like this. And we did a form, it was all in the same form, but with an existing facility, what are the things people want to see inside of it? And then with future facilities, what are some things people want to see in the future that the park district potentially could provide. And so, crazily enough, I think, the top 7 programs we were able to fit inside this facility. And they're in this order. Number 1 was a movie theater. Number 2 was an indoor walking track. Number 3 was bowling lanes. Number 4 was an indoor playground. Number 5 was HD multi-sport simulators. And that's a kind of a broad name for things for people. So if people just think it's golf, there's over 30 different activities that you can play, multiple different sports and activities that a person can utilize on those. We're able to fit 2 pickleball courts and then community rooms for birthdays, meetings, etc., community gatherings. So with that, we've initiated an architect. We've got a construction engineers on our construction manager at risk on board for the facility. And as you can see, there's a pretty in-depth packet that was provided to you guys, all the way from the exact facility design to kind of the whole story of the process from years ago when the process started. You can see there's some community surveys, and we actually have a lot more information. It was just, there's still plenty of information that was provided to you right in that packet. But you can see with some youth surveys, I think there's a lot of youth in our community screaming for things for them to do, again, especially in the winter months, as you can see by that survey, and whatnot. So I guess with that, just open it up for any questions you might have.
I have a few. The sales tax, what's the revenue gonna bring in?
So that's about 400,000 roughly a year that the sales tax would bring in.
You have a rough idea what it's gonna cost to operate it? Like, are you gonna have to hire employees?
We will. One of the thoughts is to move our park district office in there. But with that, we look to probably hire a manager of the facility itself, other maintenance staff and whatnot during the day, maybe when it's our slower times or when like seniors are walking and things like that. The park board staff can handle maybe some of that stuff, so.
Idea what it's gonna cost just to operate that portion
I think there's everything's a projection, right? At this
Yep, I
point.
know.
So there is a pro forma within that packet that should show you kind of your rep. Again, I just like to say that projected revenues and expenses. So I think we try to be super conservative on those numbers.
We're looking at.
Yeah, so in the projections, 472,000 is what we're projecting as far as the expenses for the facility.
There's gonna be some costs bringing in. Do you have an idea of what you think it would bring in, just off of guessing?
Yeah, so off this, we just put 585,000. So in our projections here, there's a I guess net cash flow of $38,000.
The majority of that would be derived off of the daily usage and the membership fees, right?
Yeah.
And I think, the pricing structure in there, the goal is to keep everything as cost effective as possible so that anybody in the community can use it. The goal isn't obviously to make a bunch of money, but provide a facility that people of all backgrounds can utilize and have a place to go. And the nice thing with this is, I think more than any other project that I've seen in the longest time, is it's really people of all ages. You have playground equipment from people from toddlers to senior gathering spaces for seniors. And talking to a gal that runs the senior center, a lot of people don't go to the senior center because you have that stigma that I'm not a senior. Where now all of a sudden, if you have a place you can go walk, you can bring your grandkids to go play on the playground equipment. Now it's a place where it's really something for everybody of all ages. Really.
Have you had any other money raised for this?
Well, we've had entities interested in, doing some sponsorships as far as naming rights, maybe whether it be, maybe it's a simulator, maybe it's playground. Had some conversations with some different people interested in some of those things. We're also approaching the city commission on Monday to visit with them with their interest as far as participating with the project as well.
And we're also gonna be meeting with the Spirit Lake Drive here in a couple of weeks too. They're actually also participating.
Maybe look for a grant or something?
Yeah, we looked at that. I mean, we're also looking at, the interest-free loan that we looked at, that's still possibly available to the U.S. government. Also looking at some bonding that we need to.
I think I asked this to you last time, Terry, and you really didn't get deep into it because you weren't sure. My question is, you never owned this facility, right? So is there a lease agreement? The reason I ask this is if you stick 3.5 million into it, you get it operating pristine. Let's say you're doing a great job, which I think it would be great for the community. What happens, let's say you have a 30-year lease, the lease comes up, you just made that facility worth 40 million. Are you gonna come back to buy that facility at 40 million? Or are you gonna have an agreement where you can purchase that building as we go on so that you don't make this facility worth 40 million and you could have built one, is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest concern some people have. Everything, pretty much everything that is in the facility, and the more of the high price items, are stuff that can be removed, if that ever came down to it. But I think the bigger picture is that the community needs to look at is, we talked to the architects, what would it cost to build that facility? $7 million is what it would cost. That's without even the stuff inside of it.
Right.
So that payment is $46,000 roughly. If over a 20-year amortization, that payment's $46,000. We fortunately have a tenant that really wants this just as much as the rest of the community. Equate that to what the rent is $5,000 a month. That's nine months, just for one payment on a 20-year amortization. That's 9 months of a payment. And going back a little bit, even I talked to a local realtor, and just to get some prices on what leases are. And I used the lowest lease he said was 50 cents a square foot. This is over 30,000 square feet. The tenant, or sorry, we're the tenant. The building owner is donating $120,000 a year. Over the course of 10 years, that's 1.2 million. I mean, there's the reality of this project is it's not a reality without leasing the facility. So, I mean, we can go into some of that all day, but the reality of it is it just doesn't happen without that facility in existence. So, I look at it whether we sat on that 400,000. Well, actually, even that, I think I did run a number on that, but just over the course of 12 months. So let's just use that payment of 46,000. Based on that, if that's the case, and we're paying 5,000 over the course of a year, we could save 492,000. Let's put that in the bank, and if it comes down to it, if either this place is successful and profiting enough, we can look to either build our own facility or, well, yeah, potentially buying it. I mean, that's all gets money a little bit to talk about that. But
Has there been any talk, like leasing, buying from them?
to an extent, but I would say, that's something for down the road. I mean, I think I guess I look at it from the standpoint of what we're putting into it is, if I can get 10 years out of an awesome facility and we don't have the risk of spending that $7 million, I can see it, okay, now, does this work or doesn't it?
Well, you're
And
putting it in perspective too, that they're giving up a million.
Yeah.
I'm just asking the questions,
yeah, no, it's fair questions, because it's what the people ask me, so.
Is there any guarantee that the lease rate won't go up? Or,
I'd say, for 10 years, the lease rate's not gonna go up,
okay,
but if the place is really, again, they're giving us such a fair rate, if at the end of the day, the rate did go up,
right,
maybe that's fair too.
yeah, well, right, obviously rents change.
Yeah.
And I think, great idea, something that the community has wanted, but has not wanted it bad enough to commit to a bond issue for a $20 million deal like we've done in the past.
Correct.
I think the voters rejected that twice. But, you know, you're getting a really a good deal on the space. And I like the fact that we're able to squeeze all that into one facility. You know, all the needs that the community had asked for. But my concern is that, you know, you're asking for $250,000 from the county, $250,000 from the city, on a $3.5 million project. And do you have a plan to go forward if, you know, you get $500,000 from the entities? Where's the remainder $3 million come from?
So pretty much if the city and the county agree to move forward with what they're doing, and what we kind of looked at is even just the initial $2 million bond, we can pretty much get 90% of what we were looking at getting in the facility, minus maybe like the movie theater aspect of it. You know, so, and I think in that packet, it does include, well, maybe it doesn't. I can get you that though. There's the architects put a phased project together so that we can do most of the project, all of what our funding is available to us at this current time, potentially. And then move forward as it comes to progression, I guess. That's part of it is, you know, all these steps come into place and we gotta see where the park is willing to. I think at the end of the day, we can take on as much debt as we need to get the project done. It just helps if everybody plays ball to get the things moving forward. And I'm confident we'll move forward. It's just a matter of, do we get everything done right away or do we get?
As long as they don't steal money from the 400,000. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
It seems to happen sometimes.
And we've already been dealing with the bonding agency, and we've gone through the advertising requirements that we've had to do, and we know we can get $2 million in bonding, right? You know, we're ready to go with that, but we're working on this possible interest-free loan right now.
Right.
Because if we can get that, then we wanna go that way instead of the bond.
We didn't get
Yeah,
interest
this is
on
Only
it.
some that you're saving.
yeah.
Okay.
I would be surprised that there's not some kind of grant though for the small community.
We've been looking for some, but I'm.
I know it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, one nice thing on this project too, I think from many projects I've been involved with is we've had people approach us as far as businesses that want to have involvement with it.
That's cool.
And that's cool, 'cause that doesn't happen, you know, you have to go plead, borrow and beg for other people too. And I think people see this as such a good community project for everybody. It's stuff that we, you know, it's a little different from the park standpoint too. Some of this isn't really like fully park initiatives, a movie theater or a bowling alley, for example, you know, the walking track, indoor playground, those are all things that.
One thing that I like about it is you didn't go after businesses that are already here.
Yeah.
You're not taking business away from them. That was probably one of the smartest avenues.
Yep.
You took on this, because usually if you have that, we have other people probably.
Yeah.
Debating, you know, that portion of it. I really like it. You didn't go after anyone.
Yeah.
That isn't what it was.
That's part of the reason why it's failed.
Yep.
Because we were put that workout area in there. They really beat us up hard.
Okay, further questions for the park district representatives? No, thanks guys, appreciate it. Thanks for taking time to come talk to us. We have
We
people
do,
from,
I know,
yes,
I think Mrs. Brodina would like to get to her
oh,
children.
there she is, you were hiding back there, I didn't see you.
Yeah.
We'll go with the school next then.
So I'm not quite prepared for this. I'm stepping in. Mr. Rocky had a family emergency that he's attending to. So to give a little update on the Egg Center, if you need some back history on it, the state put forth a grant process that the federal government was going to give $86 million of COVID funding for career and tech centers, for career and technical education to expand. So they did a bidding process for that. In the shakeout of the bidding process, we were awarded $1.24 million of that federal money. And so part of that is a 50-50 grant, so we would have to match the other $1.24 million to go ahead with the project. When we wrote the grant, we had wrote in using ESSER funds from the school, but with the facility committees and things like that, the school has decided to use ESSER funds in a different way for different projects that ranked higher than what a new ag center would be. So my responsibility is to go out and look for another $1 million to match to be able to get the original grant. Now, things with the federal government are never a for sure thing. So that $86 million that was supposed to be here back in December has not come. And personal opinion, after sitting in all of the state meetings and stuff, the state feels that that $86 million is probably never going to come from the federal government. So right now we don't have that money. There is rumors, and I've been approached, that the state is going to look at funding a bill through the legislature process for that $86 million, because some of the schools have already started to break ground and move on their projects, and now they're $10 million short. And so everybody's kind of scrambling, the costs are going up, so everybody's just kind of on hold right now. So that's kind of where we are. We're waiting to see if the $1 million comes through. And if it does, then we would start looking at funding the other $1 million per se. Any questions? That was a real short version of the story.
But you may not know till the end of session whether or not the state.
Correct.
Question I have, and I wanted to ask Mr. Bakke, because you probably won't be able to answer it. No matter what they're gonna do this project, right? You're not gonna give the $1.2 million back.
We don't
Well,
have it right now.
If,
We don't have it.
We don't have it because the federal money is,
We got federal money falling apart.
Yeah. So there is no federal money.
If the state comes with a bill to fund it, then we'll still, and
Yes.
it's a similar setup with the grant
Yes.
fund, we'll have to find the 1.24
Yes.
million because we want to get it back. But that's a big,
And you're not gonna find
Don't know.
out to the end of the session.
well, and the thing with the, we've talked about it before here, our ARPA funds, we don't have to expend them until, we don't have to expend them until 26. But we have to have them appropriated by 24. So we got all kinds of lead time to give them space if need be, and if they can't, by the end of session, you'll know if there's gonna be money there or not, and if not, you claw it back and you use it for something else. So, further questions, I guess. I'm not trying to take over the discussion here, I'm learning and listening too. Okay, further questions for?
No, enjoy the concert.
Okay, thank
Go
you.
to the council, thanks for coming, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we also have people here from all kinds of places. We got Fair Board members. We've got people here from Rural Fire. I don't know if anybody else is here to talk, but I think we've had a periodic updates from the Fair Board, which have been good. Glad to know what's going on there. Who else is here with a project that would like to speak to it, I guess? I don't know who's here just to watch and who's here to talk. So maybe you just came because you love watching county commission meetings.
I guess I'll speak about our project that we're working on. We recently had a meeting with Strengthen North Dakota, and our grant process is in place to be submitted. And Megan is telling us that she's pretty sure that we will be eligible for $500,000 or $600,000 with that grant. And also, we're looking at USDA for another portion of the grant. She said that sometimes those grants are partially a grant and partial loan, but we qualify to have a full grant process in that, so that's what we're looking at. And we've been talking with Dennis Gleason, and he's preparing a bidding package for us, so we'll be able to move forward on that. That's about our update, I think.
I guess plans for the bids to go out are like a February timeframe, I think is what he was figuring would be a good time to put the bids out.
Okay, any other question?
The last grant that you were talking, that they're trying to go after, what do you think that's a possibility of? Or you don't have an idea?
She thought that it was a pretty good chance that we would be able to qualify for that one.
How about the Bremer Bank? Bremer grant?
That's the one that we actually have a meeting with her on Thursday, and we're gonna go over the whole application, and, it's ready to submit then with our approval. So,
That's the one that has to be in by December, correct?
yeah,
This USDA grant, though, that's pretty solid,
Yeah.
600?
no, we don't know the amount on that. The Bremer grant is 500,000 or 600,000.
The USDA, you don't have a figure on that?
No,
You have a contact person?
yeah, Megan's been in contact with someone at the office several times already.
So it sounds a lot more promising than it has.
Right.
Further questions for Alberta? See, no one else with a question. Do we have anybody else here for representing a project that came to represent a project? We'll speak up. We kind of got some background on the rural fire department last meeting, so we know where those dollars would go. We got some background on some of the other stuff. Candy and I, after the meeting, talked, and we thought we should just ask the larger asks to come in, because the other ones are, not huge asks comparatively, so it made sense, at least in our minds, to at least ask those, and since we had some updates at the last meeting, so. Okay, well, I appreciate everyone coming in and visiting with us on it. From there, I guess, as a commission, we have to have a discussion on what we would like to do, or not do, or whatnot. Thoughts, comments, opinions?
Well, we have, some retiring members. Would you like to move it off the plate before you move on? I would certainly like to.
That's been my opinion the whole time, because we as a commission here made the decision way back at the beginning of the year to set up a subcommittee, to go through the process, to make a recommendation to the commission, and to hopefully vote on that recommendation, yay, nay, or make changes. To me, since we're the ones that went through that process, it seems to make the most sense. But that being said, the commission as a whole can decide what they would like to do. That's just personally my opinion. I guess I don't, how do I put it? We made the determination as a commission to go down this route.
Right.
As a whole, and everyone was in favor of going down this road of a subcommittee and then going through this process, so I think it only makes sense in my mind that we finish the process. And just because we decide to accept, decline, make changes to the recommendation, doesn't tie the hands of a future commission. If one of those projects, like say the school project, doesn't go forward, those dollars come back. If some other portion of those things doesn't happen, those funds are always able to be used and utilized in a different way, shape, or form.
So when you're saying funds come back, once we give them the funds,
No,
it has to be for that.
the purpose of the recommendation is specifically, or if we vote to approve the recommendation, is for these specific projects. So, yes, we're saying, we plan to commit, for instance, $250,000 to the park board. But if for some reason something happens and that project doesn't occur, county's never cutting them a check. They will cut them a check when the project happens. And if not, those $250,000 can then stay with the county, and a future commission, which we have a couple of future commissioners sitting in here, will make a determination on where those dollars can go, whether it's a road project, whether it's a courthouse upgrade, whatever it might be. And that would be with any of these projects. Now, some of them will go out the door immediately on the recommendation sheet if we recommend them appropriately. So like for instance, I believe Commissioner-elect Gessner back there told us at our last meeting that the rural fire will use it pretty much immediately. They'll get a truck ordered, so that check, when the truck shows up, that'll go out the door. The Hope Center, they need this offset, so that check would go out the door. District Health Unit, assuming that they find other funding, that would go out the door. The Heritage Center, once they get a bid and find the additional dollars to do the roof, that would go out the door. The other ones are all up in the air. We don't know if the Egg Center is gonna happen or the Park Road project yet. We don't know if the Mobile Career Exploration Unit is approved yet. And that pretty much covers everything. So the checks would only go out when that project actually occurs. And when, if they go through the process, they get bids, they got the funding behind it, then those dollars would be released at that point. Otherwise, if the project doesn't happen, those dollars won't stay with the county and can be absorbed into the general fund budget and used accordingly. But whatever that future commission now that will be sitting will have that determination. At least that was how I envisioned it when we were moving through the process, and that's why I thought it made sense to keep the siren radio money in there. We don't know how that process is gonna work out to the other EMS entities, but we just have a bulk sum there, so then the commission can make a determination on what kind of cost share they'd like to see on the siren radios, whether they're just gonna buy them straight out for maybe some of these smaller rural fires and places that maybe don't have cash for their normal operating budget, or rural ambulance. And the other ones are all in-house stuff. Obviously the fair building, that's a big if, they're working hard to make it happen, but, does the grant funding come through and things of that nature? If it doesn't, and the fundraising isn't there to make the match happen, then those dollars are just gonna sit there and be reappropriated by the future commission.
What match?
I'm saying the grant dollars. I'm sorry, I missed that. I apologize.
Well, I think there was 5 of us sitting around the table that committed $1 million to the Fair Board.
Yep.
Fair Association for that building. I would like to see it, and it was my assumption that it would come out of the ARPA funds.
Okay.
So it wouldn't cost, we wouldn't put it in a line item on anybody's budget. That was my intention certainly when I voted yes for that $1 million. Commissioner Brown, you made the motion to do that.
It was totally my intention of
Yeah.
giving $1 million to the fair board for that building.
Well, I'm not gonna
And
lie.
it's still-
I was
it's in the
under
book,
same
yeah.
assumption.
And that's fine.
And
That's fine.
But I do like the idea of what you say, if they don't go through the process, the money doesn't leave.
Correct, that's fine.
I 100% agree with that, because if the folks out here can't raise the money for something that we're giving them, I don't want it to go off to another project.
No.
And I 100% agree with it.
But the only intent was with the way the money was split up at the committee level was that my mind was always that, to try to get kind of how we wanted to make things happen after the initial makeup of the committee and talking about it made sense to me to do at least half of the fair building of our commitment. And then we could always do what we did with the search and rescue building on the other portion of the commitment. That was my thought for future commissions. But if everyone's more comfortable with the whole $1 million, then we can pare down the other portions of what's on the commitment list and make it up.
This $10,000 for this Lake Region District Health pickup,
Mhm.
Our last meeting, we got rid of the car. And I don't think they were in favor of getting a vehicle.
Okay, well then that.
Because we just put it back to, we're gonna give out mileage.
Okay.
And we voted on that.
Yes, I remember speaking or seeing something.
And I was gonna bring that up last time and I didn't.
And the roof for the Lake Region Heritage Center, now they did repair it, so they can use this money for repair, because their bid was over 800,000 for a new roof.
Yeah.
I mean, 50,000 isn't going to, so they can use the 50,000 for
Well,
repair?
The initial repair estimate in the packet was something like 80,000.
Okay,
So
Right.
the thought process was give them some and then they could fundraise the rest or figure
yeah,
out how to
I
do
mean,
it in
that will
budget.
help out with that.
In fact, I think there is 3 requests from Lake Region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was just no way we were paying for a full roof, but a
Okay,
repair
now,
made sense.
Just a minute now, Alan, just like you said, we're giving them some.
Yes.
They have to raise the rest.
Correct.
We talked to the park board, I think that's a very good project. And like when they said, we're gonna find out 10 years if this works. We don't have a goddamn big empty building after 10 years of the building. So that's, you're paying $25,000 a year off your cuff to use this building to see if this deal's gonna work. That's damn cheap.
Right. I think the rates on that park board, what they're asking for usage is really reasonable.
Yeah,
So I think it'll get used.
thanks for the presentation, it was very good. Very good. All right. I have no problem with that one at all. And the fair board, like we said, we give them $1 million. They're out fundraising, talking about grants from USDA. They're still on the Bremer grant. I mean, that's a slow process to get one out of them. It really is. But
Well, and the other aspect of that, if I understand it right, is that the $1 million would get a shell up. You could utilize the shell, and as funds came in, you can continue to incorporate those funds into the interior of that building, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I don't think that, it would still be up and utilized. It may not be fully complete, or, the 2.4 million or whatever the total cost or the estimate cost of that new facility would be. But I think the idea was to get a shell up, be able to utilize it for a lot of different things in inclement weather. And as funds continue to be raised, then,
And that's fine.
um,
Like I said, this was a recommendation. This is exactly what needed to happen when the recommendation came forward. I mean, we had that discussion about it and tried to put pencil to paper as best as possible. I guess I have a question for Albina, just off the top of my head, when I was thinking about it. When is our current fair building, are we done paying for that?
We have one payment left on it.
Okay, and what is our annual payment on that?
A little over 20,000.
Okay, so then those dollars could then turn around to,
I think it's closer to 60,000 that we owe on
I
it.
think.
And we've been making more additional payments as we've gone, so it's probably 2 payments.
I'm just curious because, hopefully, and I know we talked about that initially when you came and talked about this plan for us. And I just couldn't remember what the answer was.
Well, this plan has been talked about for a long time. This building that we want to build didn't just happen overnight. When we first built our first building out there, this was the second phase of what our project was going to be, but we wanted to have our building paid for before we started on the next phase of it all.
And yeah, so a portion of that, once that building gets paid off, would then be able to be bonded back or whatever if you need to. There's gonna be additional operating costs and things, obviously, with the larger building. Okay, so, guess we've got a lot of thoughts. Do we have any moves or changes or whatever?
You're interested to see what the city does with the park board. They're afraid they're buying it.
I think they're pretty much on board. I just talked to the mayor today, and he's really for it.
Yeah, and that was the thought with the dollar figure put in this was I had sat in with Jeff as well on those initial meetings, and that dollar figure was what was kind of put out there with the intent that the city would hopefully match that. So we wanted to step up and try to be in the same ballpark and match.
So is the city gonna match the school one too?
I don't think they have any intent of doing so. But the thought process was that, you know, like we said, we went through the application process, we scored everything blind. None of us saw the other scores from anybody else until the end, and I believe the park board project was 1 and the school project was 2, all of us, on how they were scored. So then the thought process at the committee level was, well, let's match the dollar figure to the park board, to the school, to make it work. Now, at this point with the school, not knowing where funding's gonna come from, who knows, but that commitment can be made and pulled back at that point too. So it's up to the commission as a whole.
I believe the city of Prairie, that siren, I'm gonna have to check with Chris again on that.
Yeah, there's some questions on that one as well.
It's sketchy because on the application, it was for a siren and installation.
I read that. Well,
That's only $9,500.
That's
According
what
to Chris, a siren is like $33,000.
Didn't their bid come back that, they have a price for that? And it said installation and
I
siren?
think
Yeah, that was that $9,500.
Yeah, that was the installation portion.
I think according to their deal, I think it's a siren.
Oh, I guess I can't recall, it's been a while since I looked at it.
I thought it was fairly cheap as well, but.
Because then the question at hand for that was, who's gonna be in charge of setting that siren off when there's inclement weather, because it won't be tied into the law enforcement center. It never has been.
I would ask their city commission why not.
And it hasn't for a few years, I guess.
Because here it says mount new siren and test.
So it doesn't necessarily mean it is the siren, it just means they're gonna mount the siren. And we had quite the discussion about this at the committee level as well, about, you know, there's other grant opportunities to pay for sirens. But we thought, well, it's not a huge dollar figure, we'll include it, and then it'll be part of this discussion here. Because if they do find grant money, then it's just $9,500 that comes back and the county just finishes it.
Definitely needs more. I think this is gonna be ongoing for a while yet.
Oh, it's going to be. I don't think there's a question.
It'll be very difficult to make decisions without having all the facts. There's already been decisions to make.
The Devil Lake Rural Fire Rescue Cusco, that was pretty much 100% on that, right? You guys
Yeah,
knew that.
as soon as, like I said, it's putting us ahead of schedule. So that is something that will get ordered, I mean.
That is one of the items on here that could, okay. That I,
Well, and you had asked for 500,000. We put in 100,000. Would you still go forward with the truck if you?
Well, it's a two-pronged deal, we need a new rescue truck.
Oh, yeah, and a trailer
And the trailer, because we can't get everything on, you know, a truck that size won't do us any good to have everything on one truck, so.
Yeah.
The initial truck would be for car accidents and, you know, just the basics to.
Yeah.
The trailer and pickup would be for extended, you know, grain bed and rescues or recoveries are hours, you know.
Mhm.
You have to set up and it's a whole process, I guess. The truck we have now, as far as car accident, what that truck's purpose for, you know, that truck works. With the pickup and the trailer, that's just gonna make you know, if we had a drain bin incident right now, we'd have to load that stuff in somebody's pickup, you know, get it to the scene. This will all be ready to go, be hooked up and.
I think what Jeff was asking is that would get ordered right away.
Yeah.
If you were to get the 100,000.
We can go one way or the other.
Okay.
And they made it, that's pretty clear in the,
Yeah.
in the big documentation that was provided, so. Okay. Further discussion, thoughts?
I guess I'll throw something else in there since I'm elect. I think that you promised the fair board $1 million, I think that's something you could vote on tonight, because I think that's.
We voted on it in April.
You know, I think that's already been allocated in my mind. I mean, so as far as a future commission, Bill can talk for himself, but I think that's kind of the way I understood it when this whole process started is, it wasn't $2 million was going out to everybody, it was that you kind of made priorities current, you know.
One thing we weren't clear on was where it was coming from.
Yeah.
In our motion in April. So, and we may have assumed, that it would come out of the ARPA, but we didn't make it clear. And I think tonight we should make it clear.
We voted my motion then.
Well,
I guess the question at hand then is what are we cutting off the list? Or are we just saying we're gonna take $1 million and then figure it out from there?
We don't necessarily have to cut anything off the list, but it's not to say that something can't be less.
Yeah, that's truthful too, yeah, of course.
I think the county, we may have some needs that are listed under various county projects that, so I don't think that shorten the county ourselves out of the deal. But we don't know exactly what those needs are, but we have 3 years or 2 years to hopefully figure it out and get it taken care of. But I do know that the siren projects, you know, is moving forward. The radios throughout the state mandated, unfunded mandate, you know, has been since 2020 for the last 2 years. So and whether or not the generator could qualify for a grant, but the grant may come up later on this spring, is what we've been told from state DES.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least part of it, I think, would be awesome. You know, especially since we're incorporating it. Part of the reason is because of district health and their needs for vaccinations and keeping them at a constant temperature. It, you know, requires constant electricity. But that's been on our list for a number of years. So if we could get that taken care of,
Candy, do you remember how the motion read as far as this $1 million for the fair board? Was it they had to raise their portion to receive?
no,
I'm just asking.
yeah, no, it wasn't contingent on, you know, you have to go out to now fundraise the additional money. This is, there's $1 million. You can either put up a building based on $1 million, or if you want something more, that's on you, kind of thing. But
definitely don't short suit,
No,
raise more.
and I think they're really in the right direction with establishing a fair association that's 501c3, that people are gonna be willing to donate. They're gonna see the shell and wanna be a part of it within our community. You know, when you look through the 4 pages of potential events or activities that could potentially be held there, that when Megan presented to us in April, to me, it was a no-brainer. You know, yep, let's get on board, let's do this thing, let's get the shovels in the dirt. I was ready to go out there and start shoveling in April. But I think it'll be this spring maybe. Is that what you're looking at? So I think it's gonna be a fantastic addition to our community, and it will get used way more than we can possibly imagine. So I think it's not gonna sit empty, and I think it's gonna be something that will be generational. I think it'll be there for generations to come. That Ramsey County will have a building for its fair activities. And beyond. You know, it'll be a community building that will be available. You know, it's not competing with the park in any way, shape, or form, but it's something that the community has needed for a number of years. It is kind of how I look at it.
We never had one.
Never had one. So,
Well, I think that's how it really sparked the interest. Is, like you said, there's a need. There's a need all the way around in this community, no matter how we look at it, you know. Maybe it's 2 great entities that maybe could push this town over the top. You know. Something has to be done. We're gonna sit stagnant forever.
Okay. We've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're ready further to consensus, but we've been talking for a while. I have no problem, like I said, this was a recommendation. I have no problem putting that fair building to full funding, but then the math would tell you that we have to cut projects. And that's okay, I don't have a problem with that, but we have to make at least a determination of, you know.
I think the determination is we already said it's $1 million.
Yeah.
The determination is where the fund's gonna come from. My thing is we already decided $1 million. And let's say we gave them the 500 like it's on this paper, but then we borrow 500,000.
We can do that.
We've done that many
That's
times.
what we did with the search.
What
and
at
rescue project.
interest
Yeah.
rates that are crazy now.
No, we would have a government interest rate with the bid open and it would be like 2% like it was in the search and rescue.
well, and I think one of the things that is important to remember is that search and rescue had a department that it fell under. It falls under the sheriff's department. And that was something that was added to the sheriff's budget.
Put it under the sheriff's budget, that's what we did.
Yep, and the fair doesn't have that luxury of having a line item or a department to fall under. So, and that's one of the reasons that I think this $1 million, don't take out a loan for it, don't pay an interest on it, don't put it in a general line item that has to be budgeted for every year to, here's $1 million, build a building.
Okay. Brings us back to the, you know, how do we pare down then? Just doing math over there. I've got his calculator out.
So if we carry the one and.
Oh, open up your pockets, see if there's any change in there.
You're right.
Go shake the couch. I mean, Like, let,
Grants is a big deal, that's gonna happen. You know,
Yeah.
if this 400,000 for this generator, if we knew we were gonna get a $250,000 grant,
Right.
it helps make decisions. You know, but we don't know what's there, what can happen.
And we don't even know if it's gonna be 400,000.
Yeah, we don't know.
no, that's, I understand that. How do I put it?
And it's definitely needed.
As far as that generator goes, I don't know if it helps you make a decision, but I talked to Roger, there's no bids. None.
Yeah, we,
You probably already are all
Yeah,
aware
we
of
got
that, but,
nothing.
so that tells you that either contractors aren't interested at that price or are unavailable at that price.
well, I don't think we gave them a price.
Yeah, we
We just said we need a,
Yeah, that was just for the
We need
engineering
an
portion of it, yeah, engineering, electrical. Yeah, and there's possibility you get grants and that comes lower, but.
like you said, we're not gonna know anything on the school until probably the end of the session. I mean, that could totally fall through.
Yeah, you could.
Not assuming, but I was under the assumption that they were awarded $1.2 million.
Well, I think they went through the CTE process and there was the intent that the money was there
The
and.
grant is there.
Yeah.
But the federal dollars haven't come through.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, we could go the route too of, you know, awarding the projects that are turn shovel, so to speak, at this point. And then just leave the other ones open for the future off of a determination. You could do that as well. So basically, you know, sounds today, at least in my mind, what I've heard around the table here, there is, I'm not gonna say everyone's in favor, but there seems to be positive vibes, so to speak, for the park board project. And then the shovel-ready projects that would benefit them right away would be Heritage Center, Hope Center, Rural Fire. That would then leave the other ones in the air, and the determination could be made by the next commission. And if the school board one comes through, so be it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that would buy some time then also to know what the generator's gonna cost and things of that nature, and how you're gonna make up that commitment. If the next commission is of the opinion that they wanna take everything from the ARPA dollars instead of any kind of other funding, like Jeff said, then you could say, well, school, we appreciate you, but there's too much up in the air. We're gonna take those dollars and put them for the fair building or whatnot.
I'm not gonna, we'll put it out there, I'm not in favor of $60,000 in Hope Center.
Okay.
And the reason is for this, I know they need help. Every business I go to has a sign on the door for jobs. And I went over to the Hope Center. Anybody can go there, anybody in this room can go there. What stops people from that are doing the right thing, the wrong thing, just to go there and get to even better themselves even more? So I have a struggle with it, that there's not some kind of criteria that they just hand this out. And I get it, there's people out there that really need it. 100% agree. But if we give them this kind of money, who's to say they're not gonna come back for more? Because we have given them some once, right? Was it one of the?
I don't,
Yes.
did we? When was this? What was it for again? I don't recall.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't think it was for food. I think it was for something else. I don't remember what it was.
I'm not saying not to give them something, but 60,000 to me seems a lot more.
Well, that was a lot smaller than the original ask.
I know.
Again, you pared it back. I understand where you're coming from, but at the same point, I'm never gonna argue against helping feed people. I would hope that the people that are utilizing the Hope Center are ones that should be utilizing it, but I'm not gonna stop funding for somebody because somebody that shouldn't be utilizing is utilizing it. Sorry. That's just my opinion. I
That's
mean,
why we're here.
we have people in this community that have needs, and I'm not gonna stop trying to help people, I guess.
So where my math was going was, okay, you have $1 million for the fair building and fair association, you have $100,000 for rural fire, $250 for parks, and you do $500,000 for various projects, and $250 for siren, you have $2,100, if my math is right.
Okay.
And then, so then if we want to have, City Aquarium, Heritage Center, Hope Center come in and ask for something, we would have some money in the various projects. You know, because we have entities that come to us on occasion and ask for a need. And so that's, you know, we could do that at some point down the line. It wouldn't be but we'd have money set aside. And those other entities that have shovel-ready projects ready to go, whether it be rural fire, sirens, Devils Lake Parks, and the Fair Board.
I'm on board with the Devils Lake Park, but I want the city to match it.
Yeah, I think that can be contingent at the motion.
Yep.
I'm just here waiting to see what you do.
Okay. Waiting to see what you do.
That's a good answer, Terry. So basically, hey, the sky's the limit.
That's 30 years.
Never thought that right there. I've sat in a few of these meetings, but you wanna give us more?
$500,000 for various projects.
Okay.
$250 for the siren, $100,000 for the rural fire.
Okay.
I come up with 2.1.
I'd still like to see the Heritage Center get some dollars to
Well-
get that roof paid for. We've talked about, I've been here for 8 years.
Well, we have paid for some of it right now.
Yeah, I paid for some of it, and
We did the repair on it.
And I thought I saw the director at the city, and the city said that they would work with their engineering, their city crews for the steps.
Correct.
So that was one of their requests. So if there's additional needs from the director at the Heritage Center, they can come back and we can make adjustments out of the ARPA funds.
How did they pay for the repair currently?
With the donations, the some donations and,
That's cool, they got that much.
well,
Well, I think.
it didn't come out to that much, but it's just a fix.
Right.
And it's holding, so hopefully.
It's a temporary fix.
Yes,
Exactly.
the 80,000 figure was, I believe, a full new rubber deck and everything like
Yeah.
that, where they're just patched again.
Right.
That's back,
It wasn't the copper.
Yeah, well, the copper was 800,000 or something, which is,
Yeah.
yeah, that ain't happening.
but this, it was holding and it was.
Okay.
I'm on board with Jeff.
We're definitely gonna be in going in the spring.
Exactly.
So
How about that?
It's up to you. I'm only sitting here for another, hopefully not more than half an hour, so. The next commission can make that decision.
What was it?
Kathy said that she thought that you could take a loan out, and then if the other on the fair board portion of it, and if other projects do not occur, then you could just basically pay the loan down quickly. That's her thought process, but
sorry.
We're not putting the fair board on.
No, you would,
Like that.
no, you would still give them their million.
Oh,
You would still give them the million that you committed to, but you would take 500,000 out of the ARPA, and you would take 500,000 from a bank. Like you did with the search and rescue building, and if some of these other projects don't fall through, then you can take those funds and pay down that loan. Because you're only, like we did with the search and rescue building, you're only making one payment a year.
Well, I know how it works,
Yeah, because it was like 400,000.
Yeah.
So I think
It was a
if
good
we
idea,
get it,
too.
if we get it for
Search
them,
and
we should do
rescue
it for them.
got kicked to the street,
Yeah.
equipment and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't mind saying that on tape.
Yeah.
And the sheriff took the search and rescue under his own budget. And we borrowed 400 and put the building up. Now it's a great facility for search and rescue. And the whole community is very appreciative of search and rescue when they need it. And I think they're appreciative all the time. Because you have volunteers. These people do not get paid.
Right.
So why not keep their equipment in good shape? And they've gotten new equipment, fundraised, did that. No, it's, I don't know where we'd be with that search and rescue down by this ocean. Used a lot of times.
So Jeff, your thought process was then, if I can extrapolate, you're
Yep.
saying fully $1 million out of these ARPA dollars to the fair board.
Right.
You said
100,000
100,000 for
fire,
the rural fire,
250 for park,
okay?
and we hang on to 500,000 for the various county projects.
Okay.
And then we need 250 for the siren radios,
Okay.
or whether they be small departments or the county has some siren costs that they're needed. Comes up to 2.1, I think.
Okay.
So we'd have another 200,000. Cause is it 2.23 or is it 2.2? 2.2.
Going to and change, correct?
So we'd have, another 100,000, and out of that, we could do both the Lake Region Heritage Center and the Hope Center out of that if we wanted to do that.
We have a little bit of money left in the other one.
Yeah, and again, the mobile career one, they don't know if that's approved yet, so
Well-
we don't know yet.
Was it, how much did Brad come in and ask for?
I think it was just $5,000 and that was gonna be operational.
Was it 1 year and then,
20, wasn't it?
was it 20,000?
5/4, I think, yeah.
5/4?
Wasn't it?
I believe so.
So it was the 5 that we would need, and then we could maybe budget.
Yeah, it was the match dollar, and that would be run through Forward Devils Lake, so you could budget this on the budget.
Yeah. And so you could do the 5 initial for the mobile.
Yep.
And then do
That would be fine,
a budget come 23.
yeah, that would be fine.
So,
What level would you be comfortable with on the Hope Center?
well, they were asking for 120.
Yeah.
60 gets them half of what they were asking. So if we did 60 and 50 for the Heritage Center, that would take you to 110,000. That would be a little over.
Well, I was asking Blaine as well, since he was kinda hesitant.
So
I mean, what did you have in your head, I guess, in terms of figure?
Like, if we can make it work into the budget, I'm not against helping people.
No, I know you're not.
I just have so much struggle. Go get a freaking job. It's crazy, there's tons of people out there.
We're all that way now.
I know, but it's right here in our community. And I'm on camera and whatever, I'm serious, get out and get a job. Don't come crying to me that you need money and you don't, not even trying to help yourself.
You wanna make
That's
that
my
motion, Jack?
frustration.
Okay, so I'm just writing it
Add
down
the
here.
60 and 50 in there.
Okay, and then we got 100,000 there. Okay, and then 500 you said for this. Okay, so would you like to make the motion off of your plan then?
I would go ahead and make that a motion.
Okay, so to delineate, I'll ask for a second and then we'll clarify the motion.
Sure.
Second?
Second.
Second. So the motion right now then is out of the ARPA funds, to commit $1 million of those ARPA funds to pay for the previous commitment for the Ramsey County Fair Board building. $250,000 would be awarded to the park board contingent on the plan coming together for their facility. $100,000 to roll fire immediately then for them to order their truck. $50,000 to the Lake Region Heritage Center for the roof. $60,000 to the Hope Center then, correct? For food, okay? And then 500, and then the balance then would be for various projects as deemed fit by the county commission at a future date. Okay? Discussion on the motion. Not that we haven't discussed plenty, but just so that anybody has any questions or comments.
So approximately 50% to the fair board, 25% reserved, 25 spent on other various projects.
Correct. That's pretty much where we're at.
Is that your
Give or
understanding?
take.
That was a lot clearer than
I just gotta make sure it's right for the motion in there, because otherwise we'll get it all screwed up. That's why he's a lawyer. Okay, seeing no further discussion, I guess, I'll ask for a roll call on this one since it's such a big figure.
Brown,
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Brett.
Aye.
Decep. Aye. Lightfon.
Motion carries. Thanks for the discussion, everyone, and thank for everyone that came in from different entities and gave us info about your projects. Appreciate it very much. I'll put it in that back.
Whoa. Before everybody leaves, we have some service appreciation for our outgoing commissioners. I'm gonna miss their leadership and their, everything that they've brought forth to serve the county and the citizens of. We have 12 years for Mr. Brown and 8 years for Commissioner Lightfon. Thank you. I wanted to do that while everybody was still here, so.
We appreciate it, thank you.
And thank you. It takes a commitment, it takes a lot to put your name out there on a ballot and run for election and show up to these meetings and all the other appointments that come along with it. So we really appreciate the efforts that you guys have put forth. And like I said, I still have your cell phone numbers and we will call from time to time to ask for your opinions.
And if people still think we're on the commission, I'll call you at 2 a.m. and they call. Dr. Jeff, it ain't my problem anymore.
But I never.
Never. I've never received a name you're calling at 10 at night, but still a little bit tough for me. We appreciate it. Well, we have one more thing on you guys can head out. I know you guys, if anybody needs to leave and has other things to do, obviously, don't hesitate to leave. We have one last thing on unfinished business, and that's discussion on the wage study that we had information on at the last meeting. What do we feel we would like to do with that?
I'd like to make adjustments in for the 2023, 2024 budget.
Okay.
Would be a reasonable thing to move forward with.
Okay.
That we make those adjustments and changes going forward.
Make sure you use it, it costs enough.
So,
I apologize, I wasn't here at the last meeting. Can you give a brief summary of what was discussed?
and Brian?
We just got basically, what was it, 4 options, well, 5 options if you include not doing anything, of salary increases. And did you get that spreadsheet before the I know you've been in and
It's
out.
very possible.
And it was, I mean, if you wanna look at it in dollar figures, I mean, we became, our salaries are very competitive.
Okay.
Benefits weren't factored into this survey, these are just all salaries, but it did secure that we have, you know, there's probably some deficiencies.
What was it, $136,000 difference if we?
That's,
Depending on which study you go with. or which-
that's if you tether to 75% on the base structure and you slot people in at their closest grade, basically, off of years of service, I believe.
Yeah, that was basically the highest option of 107,000, putting us over market. But, the other costs to use the proposed grades and step scale they gave us ranged anywhere from 16 to 30,000 in a year, in full salary. So, I mean, it wasn't, in the scheme of thing, what's our salary, 2.4 million is our yearly salary. For some reason, that sticks in my head. And the scheme of things, I mean, it's not a huge cost if we follow the proposed adjustments they gave us, so.
And again, I could have gone and watched the tape, but I haven't had time. Nobody's taking a decrease with the study, right?
No.
Okay.
And so that's basically where the two functions are, is taking our current structure, slotting them in at their closest percentage on market penetration, basically, which on average, we're at 61%, I believe. And then, at the same point, making adjustments accordingly off of the ones that we are low on to get them to their market penetration point where they should.
Got it. I just wanted to make sure on the legality side of things, we're not shorting anybody. I don't think any of you would do that. All right, now I'll be quiet. That's all I got.
So do we want to allow the next commission to make that determination based off of these numbers?
I think
Yeah, because budget's gonna have to come into play and have that discussion and.
So there'll be no changes for the 2022 years, or 2023 years, what you're proposing?
Right.
Other than the commission could make the determination just to make those changes on the people that are underpaid on the survey and then go from there or whatnot. That could be their determination.
And I would like to add, and I think I brought it up at the other commission meeting we had, was the survey does reflect the 2023 salaries too. So we gave them all the new salaries, and so they looked at that picture. So it's, I mean, feasibly, the way you guys are talking, that, you know, we can push this off, you know, to the budget, the next budget here. It would be realistic.
Yeah, and it's good it's in place. My main, not concern is, but just thought process for the next commission is that if we have, under that salary structure, know we're underpaying a few people, you know, making that change quicker than a year from now, to me makes sense, just because, you know, we wanna make sure we're being, you know, reasonable for people that are employed by us, but that will have to be.
Even with it not enough.
Yeah, because we still have $100,000, because we're gonna have $100,000 of COVID money sitting there that could be used to offset something like that off budget, because it's not gonna be a big number, it's gonna be like $15,000 or something like that for 20. You know, it's not gonna be a massive number, but.
And I would like us to work on maybe updating some of those job descriptions. Because I mean, I got a gal in my office that's, I don't know, comparables. I think we need to update some of them.
And we may have to change our grade structure too.
Yeah.
You know, because we have some long-term employees that we don't wanna.
Well, and they structured 25 grades, and then, yeah, it might be an option to maybe stretch those and go to 30 years.
Well, maybe.
I don't agree. And I'm gonna explain why.
Well, that's okay. We don't need to have that discussion, because I think we're not making the decision. I mean, I'll allow you to speak to it if you like.
That's the new commissioner.
Save it for the next one.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'll let you save it. Okay, so then I would then, entertain a motion then to table this for the next commission meeting. Somebody make a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. So we have a motion and a second to then table the wage study for, the next commission meeting. Further tabling, no further discussion on tabling the motion. All in favor, roll by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay,
And I don't think that it should go unnoticed. Thank you to Lisa
Oh,
Yes.
Meg, thank you for letting me.
for filling in.
It was a learning experience.
Thank you, Commissioner Lisa.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
okay, visitors and delegations. Got people here, anybody want to talk? Anybody? Being it's our last meeting, Commissioner Brown, any things you'd like to say? I'm not gonna try to prolong things, but, just a big thank you. I have a camera in front of me, so you don't get to say thank you to people in front of a camera very often. So I'm gonna take the time just to, say a little bit of, have some gratitude for some people around me. First off, employees of the county. Without you, every time we show up to one of these meetings, things would be chaos. And things generally run smoothly because we have fantastic employees. And a big thank you to that. Specifically to Candy, who I've been lucky enough to work with the past, 4 years, basically? And to Kevin, because I've been on your portfolio since we started, and it's always been fantastic working with you, but the whole team, a big thank you. Big thank you to all the commissioners that I've been able to serve with, especially this group, and Commissioner Brown especially, and Commissioner Disa, because you got thrown into a situation and you handled it fantastically, so I appreciate that very much. Good luck going forward to the commissioners that are staying on, and a big thank you for this time I've got to serve with you guys as well. My family, my dad, my Uncle Alex, who took care of farming when I wasn't home, so I can go home and farm now.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to meetings at 10 in the morning. And more than anything, a big thank you to my wife, my 3 kids, because my wife builds schedules around when I'm at meetings, and it's a huge ask. So a big thank you to all of them. Without them, I couldn't do it. And my wife is a saint for putting up with me for all of this. The only other thing I would say is we have 2 new commissioners in the room, correct? Yeah, just the 2 of you. Congratulations and good luck. I hope you enjoy this as much as I've enjoyed my 8 years. It's been the honor of my lifetime to serve the people of Ramsey County. When I was in high school, I think I was maybe 16 years old at the time, I was taking a civics class. And Mr. Bott was my teacher, and at the time he was Mayor Bott. And he said something to the effect of, someday, I hope that you make the decision to come serve the people wherever you're at. And at the time I was 16, I didn't think about it, I didn't care, whatever. But he saw something and said something, and it kind of stuck in the back of my mind until I decided to do this. So thank you for the community that invested in me and allowed me the opportunity to do this. So thank you. Yeah, and I hope everybody out there knows, step up, come to the meetings, get involved. It's an important thing, all of the things that we do, and not this commission, everything we vote for. Show up, it's important.
We need those services.
Yes. So with that.
Search and rescue, we need them all.
Yeah, we need everything. So with that, big thank you. Any other announcements?
Airport, we awarded $13.3 million worth of contracts yesterday for our airport expansion.
What was your estimate?
And it was a lot less than that. Well, no, I shouldn't say that, because 2 years ago when this money was floated to us, we wanted to do terminal expansion, new RF building for our fire rescue, administrative, some facilities, a parking lot. And most of that's been scrapped except the terminal expansion, parking lot, road, still maybe, but initially we were looking at about a $7 million project. So when we went through and got the engineering and contractor bids, and 13.3 million is, so.
You didn't buy a new plane,
No new planes, we didn't take any junkers to junkets to Hawaii or anything like that, yeah, it's a bundle, but it's gonna be, a very nice, modern facility, to serve our community for years and years to come. So, something that, and they don't call it essential air service for nothing. And an airport is essential to a community, so.
It's one of the biggest things when it comes to economic development.
Yeah.
Trying to get to businesses here, gotta have a way to get people in and out. It's huge. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Frith. Any further announcements?
No.
Hearing none, we are adjourned.